everybody, happy Wednesday. Meteorologist Chris Bianchi with your Facebook Live 9 News forecast. And guess what? We're going to be still talking about those hot and dry conditions. And really, there's no end in sight. We get a kind of a brief breather from all of this on Friday. Other than that here, folks, this 90-plus weather, it is here to stay. In fact, I was just taking a look at some of the long-term models looking into next week. It's going to stay for next week as well. So hang in there. It is, I know, a little bit of a sudden shock. We had all that snow in March and April, all that kind of cloudy, soggy weather last month, and here we go. Bam, straight into summer. Again, it's going to stick around for the next little while. Take a look outside right now. Denver, yeah, absolutely sunny for us here along the Front Range. Visibility at the airport, 10 miles. So we got full visibility right now. That said, we are looking at some haze, and that is as a result of some wildfires in Arizona. I'm going to show you that here in just a second, but the air quality is on the low side. So you're going for that bike ride, that jog here, maybe during the lunchtime hour. Well, I'll probably hold off on that for the next couple of hours because we are looking at that air quality alert for ozone along the entire Front Range. That goes until 4 p.m. for your day today. And we're probably going to see that kick back in for tomorrow, though we'll be a bit on the windier side for your day tomorrow. So broad view satellite, not a whole lot doing here in the Centennial State, but you do notice some of that cloud cover and some of that smoke streaming on in from the south and west. That's as a result of two large wildfires in central and northern Arizona, and that's why you're noticing a bit of a smoky look to the sky and certainly a bit on the hazy side of things as well. Again, nothing doing on the satellite and radar imagery in terms of what we typically look for, showers and thunderstorms across Colorado. We're not seeing anything. It's bone dry out there today. In fact, so bone dry across western Colorado that we are looking at red flag warnings, extreme fire danger, and relative humidity. That's to measure the amount of moisture in the air. Folks, it is extremely dry across the western slope. And just as a reminder, I know we saw all that moisture, all that wet weather here along the Front Range last month. The other side of the divide basically got shut out from all of that. So it's been exceptionally dry from the Continental Divide on west. That's why Grand Junction, the Western Slope, Montrose on south into Telluride, we are looking at such dry conditions. Current temperatures, meantime, across the state, pretty pleasant for us in the mountain 60s and 70s. But of course, here in Denver, 83. We're going to get up into the low 90s today. Pueblo, you are already there, 90 degrees for us out there in southern Colorado, and we'll be getting those temperatures maybe even into the mid to upper 90s in Pueblo later on today. Forecast highs for today, as I mentioned, Denver, you're in the low 90s, 92 for us here in the Mile High City. Colorado Springs, a little cooler at 89, but Pueblo, 93. And this is a little bit of an appetizer for what's going to be an exceptionally hot day as we get into your day tomorrow, and the hottest day so far this year. Meantime, lows tonight, pleasant for us here along the Front Range, down to about 60 for you in Denver. The mountains, that looks nice, 41 for us in Leadville. Meantime, as we get into your day tomorrow, 96 for you in Denver. Look at that, triple-digit heat into southeastern Colorado, 100 degrees for us in La Junta, and 98 for you in Pueblo. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be too shocked with some downsloping winds if we get those temperatures up in the 97, 98 range in Denver. I do think we may see a triple-digit reading or two somewhere along the Front Range, but I think most of us will stay in those mid to upper 90s. Regardless of how exactly hot it gets, it will be really, really hot for your day tomorrow. We'll get a bit of a brief breather, though, as we get later on into your Friday. I'll show you that in just a second. Meantime, the other thing to note about tomorrow's forecast is it will get a bit on the windy side during the afternoon and early evening hours. We'll start off with mostly a light breeze, but as we get later on through the day, we'll get those downsloping winds. That's what's going to help heat us on up. It's also going to come with some really windy conditions for us, especially along some of those more typically windy spots like the foothills. You get up into Evergreen, Estes Park, those typical areas. Yeah, we're going to be looking at those winds kicking on up into the 30 to 40 plus mile an hour range. Wouldn't be surprised to see a 35, 40 mile an hour wind gust in Denver and the immediate metro area. So it's certainly going to stay on the windy side for us. And also, by the way, take a look here at that 7-day forecast here. I'm going to pull that up for you in just a second. Taking a look at that 7-day forecast, it is going to be extremely, extremely hot for the foreseeable future. Just as a reminder, by the way, typically this time of year, we're in the low 80s. So we're usually 81, 82. How about 91, 92, really for the foreseeable future, as I mentioned. We do get a chance for some showers and storms starting on Saturday, maybe late Saturday, we get a storm or two. That'll probably be better, probably a higher chance, I should say, east of the I-25 corridor. Denver, you'll probably end up seeing a better chance for a shower storm on Sunday and Monday, but even that chance along the immediate front range, it's going to be pretty limited. So it's dry, it's hot, it's feeling like we're the inside of a hairdryer for the foreseeable future. So that's your overall forecast here. I'm going to take a look here at some of those comments and questions that you might have for the forecast. But again, it is hot, it is dry, and it stays that way for the next little while. And by the way, I appreciate a lot of those kind comments. And wow, how about that? A little comment coming in from Oslo, Norway. That is pretty impressive. It's going to probably, I'm guessing, it's a little cooler in Oslo, Norway than it is here in Denver. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people here in Denver would be wishing for some of that weather they got up there in Norway. Now, quick question about the higher humidity in Yuma County, and that would be, of course, in the far eastern reaches here of the state. We do have actually a little bit higher humidity out there. We had a little cluster of thunderstorms in Wyoming and Nebraska last night. That actually pushed in a little bit of cloud cover earlier on this morning. So that's why in Yuma County, you've had some higher humidity there. Also, of course, keep in mind the ground is still very wet from all that wet weather we had last month. Yes, it's obviously starting to dry now, but you still have some of that residual moisture that seeps into the ground, and that's still being evaporated by Mother Nature. And that's why you head east of the divide. In fact, I'll pull that up for you here in just a second. We're still looking at relatively high humidity values as well as relatively high dew points, despite the fact that it's really hot and the air mass itself is very dry. I don't know if that makes sense. Again, the moisture levels right at the surface are actually pretty high, but in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, we're looking at extremely dry conditions. So a little bit of a clash there, but again, totally different story. You get west of the divide, you get from, say, Vail Pass on west, and that's where we're really looking at those extremely dry conditions throughout the state. So that's part of the reason why out there we're seeing some of that. And by the way, there's I'm going to quickly get you a look here at the fire danger map, and that's where, again, western Colorado through the western slope, where we're looking at those exceptionally dry conditions. Hello to Charlotte from Byers, and seeing quite a few of those comments coming in here. But again, a quick recap of that forecast, where we are staying extremely hot and dry for the foreseeable future. High temperatures for tomorrow. That'll be the big story, I think, over the next few days. Will be the exceptional heat that we're talking about. Denver 96. Again, outside chance we get to triple digit heat. By the way, fun fact, if we do overperform and get up to 100 degrees, again, I don't think we're going to get there, but if we do, it would be our earliest 100-degree temperature on record. The current record for the earliest 100-plus on record in Denver, you got to go back to 2013 when we got up to 100 degrees back on June the 11th. So some pretty impressive heat, no doubt about that. And the other big facet to the forecast, if you're looking for some relief, you get it for one day. Friday, get outside, 84 degrees. It'll also feel a little cooler, a little less moisture in the air, I think, for your Friday as well. We've still got that southwest flow aloft that'll keep us on the cool and pleasant side. Then next week, we go right back to those 90s. And by the way, this weekend, we go right back to those 90s with only a slight chance for a shower or a thunderstorm. Hopefully you enjoyed this Facebook Live, and remember, join us at 4, 5, and 6. Meteorologist Danielle Grant. We'll have your full forecast then. Until then, I'm Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us.